God. Yay!
We made it.
We made it. We made it. See, now my Zoom is goddamn you, Zoom. All right, we're just gonna drop the Zoom. The Zoom is now working.
Oh.
So it's coming up on my just get out of here now. We're done with you. God. Okay. Hi.
It's been a wild month since we last spoke.
It has. We have Kathy. Let me see. Kathy. All right, so let's chat for a sec. Kathy's waiting for us. I told her to jump on around this time, but we had the
Okay.
delay. But yeah, so just for everyone tuning in, this is episode 5, I believe, and we have
Yes.
2 guests. We have my friend Kathy on now, and then I have a patient, a friend of mine. She's gonna jump on at 12:30. So I'm just gonna let Kathy on, and then we'll just start chatting. But man, what a Mercury retrograde shit show this has started out to be. All right, let me get Kathy on.
But that's why we talk, because when we talk and connect, it just makes everything better.
Yeah, we feel, yes, we can be like, oh, we're all going through something, and that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make it easier, but well, it kind of does make it easier, but I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, we're definitely not alone.
No, we're not alone. So, Kathy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Hi. Hi, good morning, and thank you.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for coming on. I don't know how much you were aware of the crazy technological nonsense that took place that gave me a lot of anxiety in the past 10 minutes, but we're past that now.
Yes, we're letting go.
We're letting go of perfection and we're going to move into right now. So, yeah, thanks. So this is episode 5, and in to keep with the theme, I guess, do you have a particular issue that you'd like Erica and I to tune in with to help give you insight?
Well, I put together a couple little thoughts. So I understand that we all have toxins in our bodies, and
Yeah.
some are good and some are bad. And I was just wondering about, for myself, if there was any accumulation of any specific toxins that I might need to get rid of at this time, such as metals. And then where do they come from? Is there something in our air, in our water? And so what I might avoid to avoid future overaccumulation.
Okay, awesome. Erica, do you feel like you want to jump on that first?
Just from the immediate vibration that I'm picking up, I was just wondering, like, how's your, well, I guess you don't have to tell me, but like, I'm picking up on like some gut issues that may or may not be occurring. The biggest thing I would probably say is an accumulation of yeast in your bowels that I'm seeing. So a definite good cleanse would be helpful.
Okay. I'm not aware of any like real issues, with pain or discomfort, but
Okay, I see it mostly in your lower abdomen. I don't know if you have any issues there, carrying on to hanging on to water, or.
no, but sometimes I do think about, a cleanse or, like a longer fasting.
Okay. Becky, if you want to go from here, I'm going to tune in a little bit more.
Yeah. Let's ride that wave. Let me get into what you were picking up on.
Okay.
Kathy, heavy metal. Yeah, I concur. Yeast in the lower gut. Yeah. I could see that. So let's look at remedy. Well, let's look at how it got there, or, oh shoot. Okay. Well, so Kathy, I mean, something to reflect on. Just jot down 1963.
1963
Yeah,
or 53?
6.
Okay.
That's a year that, if I ask, how far back do we need to go?
Okay.
All right. Something to reflect on with respect to stress or trauma, or, something of that nature.
All right.
And lower gut. Into. And yeah, so if I scan the 3 sections of the small intestine, the ileum is out of balance. We'll say it's irregular. So let's bring regularity to it. Okay. So I'm sending you energy to regulate the ileum. We have that. All right. So all 3 sections of the small intestine have support. Let's go to. Yeah, so what I would do as a protocol would be to get on what's called Spanish black radish. Spanish black radish is from Standard Process, and it'll flush out and support phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification in the liver. And that it's fabulous for flushing out pus, debris, heavy metals, yeasts, anything that doesn't belong. It'll start to cleanse the intestinal tract, and it'll clean up the bile to act as an antiseptic and clean the gut. That is really powerful, and it's probably all you need to do.
So you two are saying kind of just a general spring cleaning thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of like the major thing I'm seeing, because you look to be in very good health and everything seems to be working well. And that's the only priority that's coming up for me at the moment.
Okay, so nothing environmentally going on in the world that I don't need to be aware of any of that stuff.
There are always toxins in the air that we breathe and in a lot of the products that we use. So I personally would say it's almost unavoidable. But we do the best that we can to use things that are organic, things that don't have some of the chemicals that are present in some of the things that we use, like our toothpaste, and things like that. So
For example, I used a very natural weed killer yesterday.
Nice.
okay.
It was called a human named Justin.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So this is awesome. Thank you. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Also, what
two.
goes along with this is when we talk environmental, I'm so much into the biology of belief and the power of our thoughts and words on what we do ingest in any way.
Okay. Yeah. So let's look at that. If we could, so first things first is 2 Spanish black radish per day to clean out the gut, right?
Okay.
That would help. That would be the biochemical support and the physical support. And then you want to get into whatever took place in 1963 is a clue as to what was the setup for what you're looking at now. And what you were also concerned about is the outer environment and toxins, but I think all the 3 of us would agree that we're really need to focus on the inner environment, which the yeast is a reflection of, and get the support of balancing out the inner environment, and the heck with the outer environment.
Okay, as long as you don't tell me I have to give up bread.
But
is it good bread?
My neighbor gave us homemade sourdough.
Made with love.
Oh yes, she's very loving.
But,
Yeah.
Erica, can you and I dive into maybe the psychological piece or the emotional piece to that why it was set up this way?
Sure. Do we want to go back and bring that up, or because because what you recommended and the protocol that you recommended, it looks like it's going to just clear it right up.
Right, right.
So, but yeah, we could dive into it. So 1963, how old were you? There was some trauma that occurred with a male figure in your life?
I
That
was
would
in high school then, probably sophomore, junior.
okay.
Nothing comes exactly to mind, but there would have been, yeah, a stressful time. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I would explore that from a place of let me get to more gratitude, more forgiveness. And the reason why is like your first thought was it don't take my bread away. So what
Yeah.
I have found
There you go.
what I have found with, so bread tends to be, a wheat product that could reflect an emotional, we'll say definitely like anger or rage that would target the liver or impair liver function. So think about anger and rage in 1963, and you said, I think a male involved. It sounds like perfect textbook. What I
Okay.
would, yeah, expect to find or expect to explore. What do you think, Erica?
I'm not picking up anything in particular. It
Okay.
almost, I want to say it was almost a little benign, but I do what you recall about saying about the initial reactions was don't take away my bread. So there definitely is an emotional component to that. But what does lie in the gut, it does appear to be old and kind of just sitting there. And so the protocol that you recommended, I feel would it when I put that protocol into her gut area, what happens, it kind of just dissipates.
Nice.
And it doesn't appear that what happened in the past is affecting what's going on now. There may be a different emotional component to it, but for the particular gut area,
Right.
I'm not seeing anything further.
Good. See, Kathy, see how simple this is?
Yeah,
Simple.
totally. But 1963, that is a big um, component in all of this. So,
Mhm.
but I'm not seeing it connected to the gut.
Okay.
I'm seeing it more connected to the emotional space.
Right.
Right.
And so something occurred in 1963 in which it just caused you to be a little different. So it could even just be somebody passing you in the hall that gave you a dirty look and you're just like, oh God, like you felt smaller. And so you've carried that piece with you this whole time.
Okay. I think I'm getting the word vulnerability.
Yes.
That that I would, yeah, my vulnerability was impacted.
Okay. Becky, are you picking up anything further or on that, or does that
Well,
feel right for you?
yeah, that feels right. Let me see. So the question is, let's go back to the beginning. Question is heavy metals, toxins in the environment. Yeah, well, something about a detox. Let's look at detox a little bit more, but not from a stereotypical standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Let's look at an emotional detox, a spiritual detox, physical detox.
Kathy, can you recall an instance in which you became vulnerable in that time? I mean, you don't have to share it, on air, but
I wonder if that was the time where I may have been kind of kidnapped.
Kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be traumatic.
Yes, most definitely.
See what your guides say.
So it kind of almost put your trust,
Yes.
not necessarily in jeopardy, but it kind of goes into trusting what goes into your body.
Right.
So and I just saw that the detox is detox from attention.
Okay.
What you
Not,
mean attention
not
to attention or tension?
Attention.
Okay.
Now attention, let's look at attention as wow. Is that true? Hold on a minute. I've never seen anyone get this before. Detox from, this is so fascinating. Detox from inner attention. So it's like you're putting too much attention on the inner. Huh. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it because there is no control on the outer? So in life, we kind of control what's on the inside more than we focus on what's on the outside, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kathy, it's really interesting that, let's just meditate on this, but write down and reflect on that there seems to be a need to detox from too much introspection or too much inner attention.
Oh, so get like more balance with getting out of myself, maybe.
More or less. I'm getting a message that to have closure with introspection.
Okay.
My guess is this is rooted in, and because we don't have a ton more time, but my guess is that there's a maybe trying to perfect the past that you can probably just surrender to rather than going back. Because I do get a sense of control, like Erica was saying, like wanting to, not feeling control outside, so doing it inside.
Okay.
Does that resonate, or you have to let that sit?
I'll think on it.
Okay. And Erica, if you have something different, let me know.
Okay. Yep, I'm looking here. So I guess
Hi.
Yeah, no, can we pause it for a second? Or I mean, we don't have
Yeah.
to, but can you, okay, this part we don't have to, because Kathy, I want to respect your privacy and everything. And so when callers call in, they usually have a couple of things that they'd like to talk about. And Becky, we've never really talked about it. So
So I'm gonna pause. You want me to pause?
yeah, so we could take this
All
part
right.
out if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause. All right, everybody. So we just did. So I think what we want to share is that Kathy had so this is a good teaching moment. Like Kathy had a piece of her past that she
Mhm.
left there in a sense. And that's typical of the way I would describe disease or trauma. It's like we have this little frozen fraction that is stuck in time. And the plan now is to reintegrate that piece and bring it into the present moment. I'd almost think does this qualify as soul retrieval?
Yes, because it is part of her soul that is kind of, a piece of herself, a piece of her essence that is
Wow.
still there.
Oh
And
my,
so,
good job, Erica. Good job.
oh, well, high five to all of us. We all
This is
showed up today.
this is fascinating. And somehow this is all tied to too much yeast in the gut, but none, pay attention, everybody.
Yeah,
Is one
absolutely. Yeah, because
right?
because when you were talking about pus and things kind of festering, and it's been there for a while because it's a little discolored, and I've never seen yeast that color before. And
Mhm.
so it was just like, oh, okay, so this is old. And so the protocol to help release it that you gave her, and then the spiritual work. So
Yeah.
you worked on the physical, I worked on the spiritual, in the sense that, um, yeah, removing the vibration that actually left it there. Oh,
Wow.
okay. So that's totally gonna clear it up. The inner child work, and your protocol. So
Awesome, Kathy. Do you have any questions? I know that's a lot to digest. No pun
Digest.
intended.
Yeah. I want to thank both of you. Those, just those insights really all match up together, don't they?
they
Do.
do.
Yeah,
They do.
working together. What a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so very much. And thank you.
You're
That's all I
welcome.
can, best
Thank
I
you,
can.
Kathy.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so we're gonna move on to Irene. I hope Irene's in the hot seat.
Hi.
Hi, Irene. Nice to meet you virtually.
Hi, nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good, good.
So Irene, thank you for coming on. This is our fifth episode, and we're just kind of tag teaming and helping people giving our medical intuitive guidance and I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun. I know Erica and I are having a
Yeah.
blast. So
Yeah.
you're next.
Yeah, I'm just so in awe of what you do, Becky. I mean, just like, oh my gosh, like you just pinpoint it and take this, do this, boom, you're good.
We both are. We both
Yep.
are amazing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let's
I'm excited to be here. This is such a cool concept, the two of you doing this together.
Yes, glad
Um,
you're here.
yeah.
so Irene, do you have anything in particular that you'd like us to investigate or shed some light on?
So let's see. Um, I think right now, the thing I'm working on the most, I mean, you and I have spoken a couple of times, and I'm definitely working on my hormones a lot. And I feel that things are going in the right direction. I've probably felt better than I have felt in a really long time. But some things that are kind of coming up, I think because of, I guess, the intermittent fasting that I'm doing will also do like little the detoxing or things that come up, to kind of release. And so I've been dealing with some symptoms, and one of the main things that I'm dealing with, and I'm trying to figure out how to help myself, is that I'm dealing with a lot of sort of I don't want to really call it chronic pain, but sort of when I wake up in the morning, I'm kind of achy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel it a lot in my shoulders. I feel it a lot in my upper back, and then sometimes even like my knees or my calves. It's sort of like my body just kind of needs some time. I don't know. I'm trying to stay hydrated. I'm trying to take all my supplements to kind of help it release what it needs to release or detox. But I am struggling with a little bit of consistent pain throughout the day. Yeah, it almost feels like my shoulders sometimes feel, it almost feels like a hard shell, like there's something there that is like coming to the surface and just needs to release, but it needs some help doing that.
Okay.
If that makes sense. And same thing with sort of my legs, my knees and my calves and everything. It's almost like the body just needs to release some things and I still need to work on that. Um, and then other than that, I would say the only other issue is I am having an issue with a tooth. I think I mentioned that to you the other day as well, when we had spoken briefly. And I'm still kind of working with that and hoping that, you know, the tooth can heal, because I'm being told that extraction is what needs to happen. And I'm at the point where I'm like, no, I can probably find a way to heal this and not lose my tooth. And I'm kind of determined to do that. But other than that, I would say I'm doing a lot of work with my eating habits and my supplements and my fasting. And I've probably felt, you know, pretty good, considering the way I felt in the last year, where I really thought, you know, I wasn't going to survive perimenopause. So those would probably be the two things I would say that I'm working on right now, trying to figure out ways to help myself, you know, to feel better and to heal from that.
Okay. All right. So, Erica, I know you get like impressions, like I guess visual
Mhm.
impressions. If you want to start.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was actually just going to ask you about your hormones. Now, have you just started the hormones or?
No, no, what I'm doing, I'm not like taking any hormones or anything. What I'm doing is I changed my diet. I started doing intermittent fasting, different supplements to help with the hormones and the emotions that, you know, arise with,
Mhm.
you know, with somebody who is dealing with, you know, some hormonal shifts or changes. So, but I'm not like taking any hormones or anything. I'm
Okay,
just doing herbal supplements.
is that something you like, bioidentical hormones?
Is
No.
it something I would consider, you mean?
Yeah.
Or probably not.
Okay.
I prefer not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I just know a few people that have had a lot of success on that. So I wanted to rule that out or rule it in before we went further. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know some people as well who are you know, uh I believe I don't know if we're talking about the same thing, but I know some people who have mentioned they're doing like injections of hormones and things like that. And it's something that I would prefer to avoid if you know, and try to find ways for my body to feel more balanced with just the change in diet and the herbal supplements I'm taking. I prefer to do it that way if I can.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
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 I was thinking like an estrogen patch or a cream or
mm,
progesterone.
mm,
Um, because going through perimenopause myself and with the aches and pains, and it's just something I'm
mm,
considering, but I wanted to see what your beliefs were too before moving forward. And so
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would have to look into it more, but with the little bit I do know, or that I've studied to familiarize myself a little bit more with either the creams or the injections, is that there can also be some side effects, and so I'm trying to avoid going that route if I can.
okay. And I'm not an authority
Yeah,
on hormones either. Uh,
yeah,
so I just wanted to double check. And so,
hmm
okay, so I'm going to just look at a different route then.
hmm okay.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing everything right. And
Mm,
the symptoms that you are having, that is all part of perimenopause.
it
Um,
is okay. Yeah.
just the achiness and the soreness. And I don't know if you're having brain fog as well. And so,
Sometimes it was a lot worse. And then Becky recommended some supplements that really have helped me tremendously,
mhm.
especially the chase tree. I think when I don't take that, I notice the difference. And so the fogginess isn't as bad, or the forgetfulness. I even was at a point where I was literally forgetting what my name is. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's not good.
Yeah, understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I looked at my boss one day and he's talking to me and I'm looking at him a while back and I was like, oh God, I can't remember your name right now. It was awful. And I was like, oh, something's really going on. And that's when we kind of, kind of determined that, oh, maybe perimenopause is sneaking
Mhm.
in. But definitely the change in diet and the supplements have been extremely helpful. I mean, a lot of the symptoms I was having, like my heart was racing and I was having the fogginess and the forgetfulness and just the exhaustion, all those things. A lot of it has improved tremendously. It's
Mhm.
just for some reason just that achiness and that just sort of I was like, oh, what is my body trying to tell me here?
Okay, let me chime
Yeah.
in.
Yep.
Okay, what do you get at? I think the question would be, because it seems to me that you're about to release whatever is behind the pain, but
Mm.
there's an unwillingness to fully let it go. So I'm wondering what the payoff would be to hold on to the discomfort in the body.
Oh, zero payoff. I want to let this go so badly. I mean,
Okay.
I've been doing EFT. I've done some acupuncture, which I've heard helps to release stuff. I try to
All right.
exercise. I mean, I really do. If there's something in me that's not letting it go, it's got to be something subconscious because I'm so ready to let it go.
Okay, so
Um,
I think that's what Erica and I need to hone in on, because I feel like you're
mhm,
holding on to something,
okay.
unconsciously,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
All right, let me tune into that.
I initially came up with 5 and 7.
What is that?
Ages 5 and 7.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh,
five
oh,
and seven.
wonderful.
Oh, okay.
And so for people that are listening, I want to just pause for a second. Like,
Mhm.
this whole menopausal time period is to reconcile. This is a gift to look at the past and make peace with it moving into the second phase of life. So this is normal, that the unconscious is like ready to release this stuff.
Mm,
And I think it's on a little bit on an accelerated timeline now. It's like it's enough already. Let's heal the old wounds in the of the past and get ready for, this new beginning. So
mm,
this is perfect to go back to childhood and make peace.
hmm. And if I
All
could
right,
just
so
mention
yeah,
to both of you just briefly, so a lot, I agree that a lot of it probably is just from, some challenging times in my childhood. And interestingly enough, at the end of the summer, my cousin's getting married, and I'm going back to Greece, where all my challenging times happened for the first time in 27 years. So I think my body, and just in general, myself knows that I need to just really release a lot of this because it's a new beginning for my family. We've all just kind of like, we're all doing our part and just saying, enough is enough. We've all made mistakes. We have to move on from this. And we're all going to kind of get together to celebrate a family member's wedding, hoping for a new beginning. And so I think since I found that out and since we made the decision to do that, my body's really like achy and really, so my body's really
yeah,
like, you got to let this all go because this
yeah,
is a new beginning for you, for your husband, for your child, and for your family in general. And so the last few weeks is when I've really felt the aches and pains because that's when
all
our
right,
tickets were booked. And it's sort of like I need to get into that phase of you need to start planning and shopping and getting ready for the wedding and getting excited and letting go of the things that scare you to go back. Because that's where a lot of like difficult situations happened.
Were you even
okay,
considering canceling?
No, no, I
Okay.
definitely have not gotten to the point where I've considered canceling.
Okay.
It took me some time to decide it. And when I finally decided, I said, no, we're doing this.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely no cancellations. It's more getting myself excited and allowing myself to be like, oh, you know what? You're working on yourself more. You have more time for yourself. Enjoy even the preparation of getting there. Buy yourself a cute dress, get your nails done, do whatever you got to do to feel good. Things that
Oh,
I
that's
probably
nice.
haven't done in a really long time. And
Mhm.
so, but just the fact that I'm going back after all these years and being like, this is a new beginning. We're not going to dig up all the past and the things that hurt us. And so my body's like, oh yeah, let this go. And it's trying to let it go. And I literally feel like my back, it feels like a shell. I feel like I have a turtle stuck back there because I think there's stuff that just needs to like just go and be gone finally.
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right, so let's see what Erica picked up on those ages, and so
Mm,
we can address them.
okay.
Is that something you'd like to share or go through?
Oh yeah,
I'm always
absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
no, I have no problem sharing.
Okay.
I don't really remember anything at that age specifically, but I'm open to sharing anything. That's fine.
Okay. Um, so I see 5 years old and a red bicycle.
Okay.
And an older gentleman. I don't know if he was helping you learn to ride a bicycle, or that's just the vibration that's coming through for me. Not necessarily
Mm,
exactly what it is, but maybe an older gentleman helping you and teaching you.
yeah, it's probably my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably my dad. He bought us bicycles when we lived in Queens. And he was always very into like teaching us how to ride and taking us to the park and all that kind of stuff. So if I had to guess, it was my dad.
Okay, because that was an important time. But then it appears at 7, something happened that destroyed that incredible vision of what you were going through of and how you saw your dad. And um, it just something occurred when you were 7 that it just almost like let you down. And you had to become a person that you didn't really have, you had to grow up a little too fast,
Mm,
it appears. And so you ended up having to take care of yourself more and having to not take things on, but almost resentful a little bit of having to do that.
mm.
Do you have any siblings or?
I do. I have an older brother. He's 3 years older than me.
Okay.
hmm but he's older, but in a sense, I always had to take care of him.
Okay.
Um, yeah, coming from a Greek family, it's very traditional for the boys to kind of, be spoiled a little bit, and then for the girls to at a very young age start doing you're responsible for the household, you're responsible for taking care of your brother. So if I had to guess, I mean, I would think my mom probably started working full time. My parents at that point, I think,
Mm.
started their own business, and maybe I was left home to take care of my brother,
Yeah, and it
or to
became
be,
less
yeah,
about maybe.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the only
So,
thing I could possibly think of. Yeah.
okay. So there's some of that kind of um, loving that needs to go on, or even just releasing a lot of anger,
Mm, okay.
because that's going to come through in your body with being tense, not being able to relax, because it's going to fall to you to have to take care of.
Mm,
So, just go back and tell her it's okay to be angry. It's
okay.
okay to fight. It's okay. It's that she's okay. And have you ever done like glass breaking? Like they have those places where you can go and break dishes.
No, I haven't. Do they really? They
Yeah,
have such a place?
but that's kind of what I'm seeing for you. And they where you can just go and just throw stuff and just get your anger out. Um,
Gotcha.
and like chopping wood, like sometimes you can get angry and hit a pillow, but sometimes the vibration of the glass breaking helps to shatter things that are stuck in the past.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's interesting too because each piece of um, dinnerware or a glass, it all has a different vibration to it. So
Mm,
it's really, but I see that as beneficial in trying to release some of that anger, that inner anger, which is causing you to kind of tense up and have to carry things forward. And it's
okay.
almost like you never really got to finish being a kid.
Yeah,
You
Yeah,
have
no,
so
for
all these
sure.
responsibilities put on you.
what
Mm,
I'm seeing is there is an abandonment of innocence.
Ah,
hmm Yeah.
okay, and probably at 7. And so what Erica wants you to do is allow yourself to feel all the anger of that, and so that you can let it go, right? And I think I love that idea. In fact, Kathy just showed me this Japanese art technique, and I'm gonna botch it up, but basically you take a bowl and you destroy the bowl, and then you glue the pieces back together as a form of, and then you're putting gold into the cracks to show that what you survived and that you're better for it. And this is whole process of what trauma does to people, right? But
Mhm.
you may want to, if you're interested in that, I'll give you more information. But I like the idea of just letting the anger out, and rather than trying to contain it.
Mm,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I like that idea too, because like putting things back together, but
Yeah.
like, but the I agree with Becky in the sense that getting it all out, and then once you get it all out, if there's something that you want to put back together as like a representation of who you are.
Mm,
And
okay.
then Kathy just chimed in. She said, "My friend bought dishes from a thrift store and broke them in her basement."
Oh, wow. Okay.
I love that idea. I'm
Yeah,
all in, Irene. Let it out.
Yeah.
yeah. No, that's a good too.
It's such
But
a,
I do
it's
like the
so,
idea where
yeah.
like if you go to like a place that is already set up, like you could buy like a set of 12 and things, and then you just go in a room and you have goggles, you're protected, and you just get it all out, and then you don't have to clean it up.
Man, I
You can just
love it.
get angry, get it all out, and then walk away. And they'll clean it
Gotcha.
up, they'll do the own thing. But if you're in a bind and it's like, you know what, I'm really pissed, I need to go down to my basement and break something, that works too.
Gotcha. I don't have a basement, so I'm gonna have to get a little creative.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's interesting. All this is coming up. My husband says to me today, he's like, "Did you know that?" He said, "I saw a YouTube video where at Greek weddings they throw dishes and they just break them."
Yes, that was the
And I
first
was
thing
like,
I thought of.
yeah, so yeah, I don't want to wait until the wedding to do this. And then I was in my cupboard, I was like looking for something, and I found a it's interesting how, before a healing usually or before conversations like this, there's always like little signs. I found because I use flower essences for a lot of different reasons, and I found a flower essence that specifically is for anger, and for some reason out of the blue this morning I decided to take it. I was like, I don't know why I'm drawn to this right now. I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah,
What? So
yeah. I
maybe I need more of that until I can find a basement to crack dishes. But
Yeah. Yeah, they have some. I don't know where you're located. I'm actually in Kansas City, so I know we have some here, and I know there are some in
yeah,
Connecticut. So I'm
I'll
not.
have to look into it in Connecticut. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but I'll definitely look into it. But it definitely, I mean, this all resonates because I did have to grow up pretty fast for a lot of different reasons. Probably at the age of 9 is when my dad gave me my first job. And then, just again, the dynamic in the family was, my brother kind of, he went to school, he ate, and then he went with friends. And for me, it was like, you can go play, but after you clean his room, do the dishes, help with the house. So I did definitely have to act more like an adult than a child,
Mhm.
back then. And so it's something that I've had to kind of, you know, uh, focus on more and giving myself more time, especially now that my son's older as well. It was hard while he was growing up, but now that it's just, me and my husband, I'm definitely more like, I need me time. I need to do things for myself. I can't constantly be thinking about the household or thinking about your needs. There's just some me time that's needed there. And so it's definitely
Yeah,
something that, I need to continue working on and just healing and allowing things to just release and
definitely.
be able
Yeah.
to move on. Yeah.
Yes, and the more you do that, and the more that you pay attention to that anger and release
Mm,
it and acknowledge it, the
mm.
lighter that you'll start feeling as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have a really good idea.
Okay.
You could throw a blanket over the ceramics that you're going to destroy, and I want you to think of it as, when you're ready, to think of this as a ceremony for your own wedding, meaning to yourself, where you're going to bring back your innocence, reclaim your innocence now in this new chapter.
Okay. Throw a blanket. Okay.
like do the same, like with the Greek wedding theme in mind,
Mm,
right? To make it a proclamation to you.
okay.
You follow?
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because the word spiritual, you have the word ritual in there. Make it a ritual, a new beginning, so that your innocence can be reclaimed and brought back to you. Meaning you own yourself again. It's not your father's rules anymore. It's not your husband's rules. It's not society's rules.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
I know it's deep. I know it's
Yeah.
It is. It is. But it's okay. It's okay.
but I think we're just about out of no, okay. So yeah, we're just about out of time. Um let me just see. So we have this beautiful plan in mind. I love it, love it, love it. Let's get into the tooth. Um I know, Erica, I'm going to put you on the spot again with the tooth if you get any insight about this particular
Um,
tooth.
well, I know you don't want to pull it, but it was funny because when you said tooth, in my mind, it was like, oh, that sucker's got to come out, you know?
Oh,
And so, um, but then when I saw that you wanted to work with it, and I don't know too much about teeth in the physical aspect of helping those heal.
okay. So let's get into why
Oh, you know what? It's actually, sorry,
oh,
but there is a lot of tension too. Do you clench your teeth?
I
At all?
don't know. I just feel like because I have this feeling of tension in my shoulders and in my upper back, then I tend to, it just travels up into my neck where I've been getting some headaches. And then I think the teeth, just everything just kind of tenses up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely just a lot of tension.
So
Um,
have you ever like given yourself like a head massage and a neck massage, like just to loosen things up? Like if you go and squeeze your scalp a little bit, like
mhm.
is there a lot of tension there, or does the fascia really like is it really movable?
Um, I think it's pretty movable. I
Okay.
mean, the hardest part, or the part that feels more tense, is the upper shoulders.
Okay.
It literally is like, even my husband the other day, he was kind of giving me a little bit of a massage, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like it feels so hard, your skin." So
Mhm.
there's just a lot of tension there. But again, it almost feels like it's sort of like building up in that area, and it's trying to release from there.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I'm looking at your occipital lobe right now, and it looks a little off kilter. So yep. So what we could do is we can kind of just work it back into place, and that will help some of the tension in your shoulders. But I know some of the tension's also related to what we just previously talked about. Um,
okay.
yeah, because that nerve's a little angry.
And I'm sorry, which nerve is this now?
Oh, the nerve in your tooth.
Oh, in the tooth. Okay.
Hmm. But if we can start relaxing things around it, maybe it has room to move and resolve.
Gotcha. Okay.
well, let me
Yeah,
I am
that
sure
can.
I channel Irene, I'm sure I channeled the tooth last time. Do you recall what it said?
Yeah, we talked about it the last couple of minutes after hubby's session, and it was just me being frustrated with having to deal with taking care of him with the last, episode that he had with the wound in his leg, and it was
Okay,
just, too much, and so I was a little frustrated
there
that
it
I
is.
was dealing with all that.
Mm,
Yes,
Okay. So that's going to create a lot of tension, right? The frustration. All right, let me
yeah.
see. Let me look at the tooth.
And I've
yeah,
been trying to do EMT and work through it, but it really just all feels like it's just bubbling up and just ready to just like,
yeah, because
uh,
that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back.
mm-hmm,
So the more work and the sooner that you can start breaking dishes and releasing some of that, it'll
okay,
it'll help make situations that arise not as bad. Because in
okay,
life things are going to happen, things are always going to happen, but if we don't have a release, you know, it just builds up until there's like an explosion. So
Right. Okay.
So what I'm seeing is that the part of you that's still holding on is telling a story of that the anger and the frustration keeps you protected. So you want to shift and notice that there is no adult that's telling you that you can't, you can't do what you want. You can't play because you got to clean the room and all that. Like all that's gone, right? So you can let that protection go. You can let go of the anger and know that you're still protected,
Okay.
right, because if you don't have that, then who are you and what would you do?
Does that make sense? That it's okay to drop the anger, that you don't need the protection anymore. You can be okay in your power. The war is over in a sense.
Okay.
And you get to decide, regardless of anything, you get to decide what's good for you. And if it's coming from your heart, then you can't control how other people react to you. That's their So like you said before, it's important for you to take care of yourself, which it sounds like you're doing, and just making you a bigger priority.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, your guides are saying that you're operating that the resentment is protecting you. So that you want to flip that. And that's what I would tap on, that you don't need that anger, resentment, and frustration to protect you anymore. You are protected.
Okay.
And then that will create the space to let the tooth be replenished with blood and oxygen, and then we can work with it. We can work with it better when all this tension's out of the way.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Yay!
Yay. Yay. Sounds good.
Well, for time's sake, thank you for coming on. And
Oh yeah,
do you have
thank
any?
you.
Yeah, do you have any questions for myself or Erica?
No, this was great. Thank you so much for inviting me. This was awesome.
No. Thank you for participating.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you
no,
very
this
much
was great.
for sharing. And yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Well,
thank you.
you're very welcome.
All
So,
right.
Erica, what do we want to do? What do we want to talk about in closing?
In closing, what came up today, it just seemed like a lot of inner child work and just reminding people how important it is to love ourselves and
Love the inner child.
love who we are. And if you can't, or if you're unable, or if there's a blockage, then it's just really important to just sit and listen, because our bodies are telling us everything we need to know. And so we just need to sit and listen and love ourselves.
And trust that what we're feeling is information that we need to go with. Like it's our soul communicating with us, and not to listen rather than ignore it or think that it's something separate from us, but it's rather a part of us that's looking for love and healing.
Right. Exactly. And if we make the time, we all have this innate wisdom within us. We are all, our greatest teachers. We just have to listen and trust ourselves. For instance, if somebody's having a leg issue, if your leg hurts, what's preventing me from moving forward in life or walking this life? Your body will tell you in a way that you can interpret. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, but that's what, like in summary of today, it's like to have what we're sharing is have the trust that your body has this inner wisdom. It's trying to get your attention. And it's very literal. Like you were saying, like if there's a leg problem, it's something you don't want to move forward with, or it's something about that topic. And I think if people weren't going to go to you or I for a session, they would have to, because I always recommend self-care and being your own healer. I think meditation, it has to be a daily practice or a regular practice, because that's how you give your body or your soul a chance to talk.
Right. Exactly. And then having to listen to it too, because sometimes your body will talk to you and it's like, oh, you know what, it's fine. Or, oh, that kind of makes me uncomfortable. I really don't want to speak up my voice or my truth. But
Right.
it's trying to overcome those things, because the more that you can do that and listen to your body, it's the easier it'll become. And
Yeah.
and it's instantly noticeable too. Your body will reward you. And
Yeah.
the universe, everything around you will just confirm.
It'll work. Everything will just work the way it's supposed to,
Yeah.
rather than resisting. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Who knew we would be talking about the inner child today?
Right. Exactly.
And next time, and thank you everyone for putting up with our Mercury retrograde technical problems today. We worked through them just fine.
Absolutely. For next time, also, I got a message from somebody who, would like help with tools on like how to protect oneself from like the power of suggestion, or being an empath and protecting themselves, because they tend to take things on, like even just going into a doctor's office and picking up something at the doctor's office. I mean, I personally know this person and they're a really great manifester, and they're also an empath, but she was hoping to get some tools on.
Okay.
So maybe next week. So stay
Well,
tuned for next week. Or
yeah, but I do have something for her to check out between now and then, so she doesn't have to wait.
Okay. Oh, hey, you know what? Why don't I read her message? That'd probably be.
Okay.
I know we're kind of running out of time here, but I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Well, she started off, I could probably talk to you both for hours. It'd be interesting to hear thoughts about protecting oneself from the power of suggestion and or being an empath. I'm not talking about psychic attack. I'm talking about absorbing other people's thoughts and words. It feels as if I don't have limits or have boundaries concerning some thought processes. An example might be that I go into a doctor's office for a checkup, and there have been times when I left physically sick, although I wasn't sick when I went in. There have been other times I have been perfectly fine and someone else showed up at work sick, and within minutes I had what they had. As I write this, the question is posed around my picking up illnesses. I feel at another time it might be something about absorbing some kind of other thought processes. I've learned some clearing techniques, but it would be nice to have some natural boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tune in right now. If you want to tune in, and we'll.
Okay.
What her issue is. Let's see.
The first thing I came up with, I've always, when I first learned about energies and things like that, I was taught about plexiglass box, like surrounding yourself with light, almost in plexiglass, so that when you're going somewhere, you have 3 feet all around you, that nothing can come at you vibrationally, energetically, and it's glass because you can let things in or out. And so that was really helpful for me in knowing that there was almost like a physical barrier or boundary whenever I went into places that appeared to be low vibration, or doctor's office, or just actually for me it was anywhere that there were people. So yeah.
It's too peoply in here. It's too peoply.
Right. And so it was really good. I don't need it anymore but when I was first starting out, it was just, actually I still do use it at times. It's a good tool to have because it's almost like you could visualize it and that you're in control of your environment.
Yeah.
And then as time goes on, it's almost like, okay, I know it's there, but it's like you don't have to envision it anymore. And that's always helped me. What do you got?
Well, I was going to say, I think we do want to make this a whole episode next time.
Okay.
Because because this is a very big topic. But let me see, what I was thinking is, does she, or you could pass this along,
Hmm.
is have her do the Zip Up by Donna Eden, or Eden Energy Medicine. They have an energy correction, you'd call it, and you zip up. And it's literally, you're going along the conception vessel and you're closing it off at the mouth. And that is supposed to help keep that meridian, I guess, closed so we're not
Hmm.
susceptible. I would pass that along to her.
Oh,
But
okay. I'll look into that too.
could could she call us? Could she be the caller for the next episode and we can do a deep dive?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll ask her. I'll
Oh,
definitely
cool.
ask her if she would like to.
Oh,
Yeah, we would just need the date and time, and well, we have the time, but yeah, we'll just have to figure the date and then go from there.
yeah. And then the other thing that's coming to me that I'm still learning about, but I think this would be very helpful for her if she wants to look it up on YouTube. It's
Hmm.
called the frame technique. And I was watching this guy, this self-made guru, whatever, but he teaches, his name is Aaron, and he teaches the frame technique. And it's a way to create separateness from you and others, so you know where your boundaries are. It's for the empathic person. Uh,
Okay.
it's you know, but it's something that he recommends you do for like 21 days or something. But maybe she could get the concept of it and maybe commit to that. I just don't have enough information to say, like, from personal experience, whether it's, you know, I mean, I watched it once and I was really impressed with the concept.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely look it up too. And so I'm always, I love learning.
You know.
Yeah, because it always puts words to what I see. It helps me put words to
Right.
what I see. So, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, so hopefully she'll come on and we'll make the whole episode about boundaries and how to, you know, and we'll explore like this question that she has. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah. No. Definitely. Yeah. It was a great question. When I got it, I was just like, oh wow, this is really great. So, okay, wonderful.
All right, so I'm going to, well, so thank you all for listening, and I'm going to close the recording at this time, and hopefully you will all come on for the next call about boundaries and being empathic and how to navigate life so we're not just, I don't know what, susceptible to everything.
Right. Yes, and the empath feels everything, so
All right, so do you have anything else in closing?
no, I think I'm good. I think
Okay.
I'm good. And yes, I definitely want to thank Kathy and Irene for being our callers today and
Yeah.
sharing part of themselves. And so,
Yeah, thank you. All right, so until next time.
yes.